Hey there everyone, Luke here. Now before we get into talking about the chapter this week of Mission Yozakura Family, just want to say a couple of things. First of all, go and check out the modcast for Control Chaos that I did with Vex, Tyler and Ann Arbor at the end. But yeah, in all seriousness, go and watch that because it's gonna give an insight into what I'll be doing with them as one of as pretty much a main collaborator at this point on Control Chaos. But yeah, we'll be doing obviously retrospectives on Power Rangers, some other retrospectives like watching a series, binging a series, and then doing like a retrospective on it. Series that I have not seen before. It's a classic one. We're still in the debating stages of that, but of course, come from a compromise. If we do that, then obviously I get to pick the one we do after that one, which is one that I've always wanted to do, like just videos on, because it's a series that I adore. It's not anime in any way, and it's a comedy series. That's the one I'm picking. So that's the clue. That's the clue that everybody has of what the series is actually going to be. If you ever seen any of the podcasts, I've mentioned this series before. So yeah, that's something to look forward to. But yeah, so go and watch the podcast that we recently did on the updates for Control Chaos itself. What we want to do, what we plan to do moving forward as a community and as friends who all come together and collaborate. So yeah, we've got Power Rangers coming up, and then after that we've got a classic anime that's going to be a doozy to get through. But if we can get through Power Rangers, we can get through that one. You guys probably have a very good idea of what the series might actually be, and if Power John's watching this, you get exclusive first looks of what it is. But for now, let's just talk about the chapter. Alright, so this will be chapter 142, titled Separate. Oh, I'm sorry. I must be a mistake here. I'm pretty sure it's saying Mission 148 Separation, but pretty sure 142 was called Separation. Let's go back and look. So it's okay. Yeah, I was making that joke to make think oh, maybe I've forgotten what chapter one again. No, I remembered we're on 148. But seriously, you can see here. Separation, you can see it right there. Now let's go back and look at 142. Oh, what do we have here? Separation. Seriously, Gondaria Sensei, did you just run out of names for the chapter? Why do they have the same why do they honestly have the same chapter name? Because there's nothing separation about. Oh my word! I had to do a double take on that when I first read it, because I was like, wait, I've seen this title somewhere before recently, but yeah, that's besides the point. I just wanted to bring attention to that of why is it called Separation when there's hardly any separating in this chapter. But anyway, moving on. So the chapter starts off with obviously Tayu, Koricho, Nanano, and Keigo infiltrating the ship of Momo, and them updating on the three targets moving inside, as Shion is saying oh, I'm getting a ping from the lowest deck near the engine room. So it's showing it shows a graph of okay, where everything is. So we have Goliath, Shion, and Mutsumi up in the flying Radbot car from Power Rangers. So they're just flying overhead in the sky, which that's something I want to know. How does Goliath know how to drive? I mean, I know he's smart for a Kamara dog, but seriously, how does he know how to drive? So it seems from this panel, we're not getting I is not with them, which. Yeah, which is a shame, which is kind of alright, which is kind of something in the back of my mind I expected, but at the same time I was okay, maybe she will come along in the mission, but no, it's very clearly stated. So we have Mutsumi, Shion, and Goliath in the car. We have Kai and Alexander in the top deck, and then we have the four male Yozakura siblings, and yeah, I am including Tayo in this because he is a member of the Yozakura family. He's one of the siblings now, so we're just gonna get on with that. But yeah, we have them on one side, and then we have Momo, Futaba, and Shinzo on another side, so they're kind of in connection with each other. So they carry on by saying, okay, we've got to keep going straight down and go down the stairs. The Go Rank Spies will draw the Sakura boys, basically the dark cherry blossom morphing blob things. They'll draw them to the top deck and sort them out while you guys go after Momo, Futaba, and Shinzo. And Keigo notices like all the Morphous blobs are still in the wall, but they're wondering why they aren't being attacked. And Koricho immediately figures out like, oh, this is obviously part of Momo's plan. They're easy enough to put together. His thought process is probably he has no intention of attacking his family, and that if we came to him, he'll gladly welcome them or something like that, which yeah makes sense for Momo. But he gladly welcome them, like, come to me, my family. I don't want to hurt you. I just want to be a nice normal family in a way. But yeah, this is where we get into a flashback with Courage, because this is reminding you of like, oh, this is always how he's seen family. He's seen it through a warped sense of lens. Even after all that's happened, he hasn't changed one bit. So this is where this flashback might actually give us clues to like what Momo's blooming actually is. Like whether or not this mind control Sakura Bros, that's not all them, and it's more part of Momo's boom, which we'll get into it as we get into the flashback, where we have Momo basically doing to Koricho what Koricho does to Tayo. Yeah, can you see where Koricho gets it from? So it's like, yeah, I wonder what would have happened. Now that gets me curious, like, what would happen if Momo wasn't part of the Yozakura family? Well, obviously Koricho would be there, but like, say somebody else was the father to Ri, but all the siblings were still the same, just modified differently because of Momo no longer being part of the family. I wonder what that would be. Wonder what that would be like. I guess Koricho wouldn't be so much of a siscon at the beginning of the series, but yeah, he's basically doing what Koricho would normally do to Tayo by. Well, I guess it would be more akin to what Ayaka does, where like bending his body and him going like, "Oh, you won't get out of my submission hold like that. Now you get the mustache nuzzle of doom." No, not the mustache nuzzle of doom. Nobody wants the mustache nuzzle of doom from Momo. And yeah, Koricho very very. Appropriately for someone at that point at his younger age, just calling for his mom, like, Mom, get out! Dad's doing all of this to me. Oh, you gotta help me at all. And yeah, Koricho is getting freaked out by Momo here, which yeah says a lot considering it's Koricho. I just love that, like, in the series, like, that even Koricho has limits to how much he can take, and how much it's psychologically damaged him, just as much as it's psychologically damaged him. And the fact that he's the oldest sibling, well, no, he's the oldest son, not the oldest sibling, because that belongs to Futaba. But yeah, the oldest sibling, the oldest male sibling, so he's probably had the brunt of it from Momo himself. Oh, that just makes it more scary and terrifying. But yeah, he goes, Momo says in the flashback, swat up the head from Ray was a gift from me, and Courage is like, Mom, please help. Before we see, did Koricho? Oh no, it says Ri came and just basically battered Momo's head in to the point that he just has blobs in his head. Before he compliments Koricho by saying like, "Oh, your hand-to-hand combat skills are improving, Koricho. I wouldn't be surprised if you surpass me soon. Now, if something were to happen to me, you'd be able to keep the family safe." And yeah, this is the clue that we're getting here, because keep an ear out to what Momo actually said it. And Koricho even points this out. He's like, yeah, you've been saying that a lot lately, Father. What have you got planned? Did something happen between you, Mum? And he's just brushing it off, being like, "Oh no, the love was tenderness and everything." And it's just making Koricho like, somebody get me a bucket. I wish I hadn't have asked. Wish I haven't asked you. But then Momo goes on to give some vague hints about what is going on here. Of like, there isn't any particular reason. It's just lately I've been having dreams. Dreams where I leave the family in a wake of nothing but misery. And yeah, what does Momo eventually end up doing? Leaving the family in a wake of nothing but misery. So yeah, and I'm just gonna briefly go through this flashback here because I really want to talk about what actually happened. So Koichi was just brushing off like, oh, it's dad just being dad, and even if he left, he'll be like, hey, we get rid of the whole goodbye kisses. So we see Chibi Nanano basically having to endure that, and Momo's like, oh, isn't this your rebellion face coming a little bit early? Before Koichi says, don't worry, Dad. I'll get stronger and I'll keep the whole family safe, including you. But yeah, the fact that Koichi reiterates what Momo said, and the fact that he's all talking about dreams here, makes me believe that Momo's blooming has something to do with dream related things. Like I gave a name to Pie Jams. Like let's go on the Discord quickly. But yeah, gave the name Dream Machine. Like that's probably what Momo's blooming would be, which would make sense for his character because he's all about like dreaming about the past, dreaming about my fantasies and everything. But yeah, here is if I can go into mission. Yeah, here we go. So yeah, my idea, this is what I said to him, my idea is that his blooming has the ability to make whatever he dreams about a reality, and the fact that he is dreaming about Koichi being stronger, stronger and protecting the family. In fact, that he dreams about events happening that have actually happened in the series itself, right down to a T. Yeah, that just makes me believe like, oh my god. Is this what his blooming is? Like, Dream Machine has the ability to turn whatever he dreams about into reality, and basically he has to say what it's about in order for it to actually come true. Is that what it is? So that means, oh my god, he's dreamed about the family coming back, and he's mentioned it before, so does that mean he's going to get all the Yozakura siblings? But now that I think about it, based on what happens next, he might potentially get Koichi. Either he's able to corrupt Koichi, or Koichi willingly goes along with it in order to protect the family, and also to work out a plan of how to deal with Momo. At that point, as literally after the flashback ends, we have Koichi saying like, "Let's go over the plan again. Once we retrieve our siblings, you all are to withdraw immediately. As for me, I will stay behind and settle the score with our father personally." So yeah, I don't think they're going to be getting back Futaba and Shinzo, and then if they get Koichi, that's even worse because then they've got all the Yozakura sibling gold ranks here. Although this would be interesting if we had like, okay, we've got Shinzo being paired up with with Alex to fight, Shuru with Futaba, and then Kai with Koichi, having like a gold rank battle brawl, and being able to see what Kai, Alex, and Shuru can fully do in a battle, and like confirming like what I've been saying for a while. Do they have bloomings themselves? Have they gotten like other ways of getting blooming? That's something that might actually come up, that theory might actually come true, because it would make sense for Momo to actually want all three of the gold rank spades, because they are the strongest out of all of them, as everyone is just thinking like, is this even the right thing? Like, they're just like, you got the ... and then the exclamation point before Koichi Irio. So like, your top priority is rescuing Futaba and Shinzo. The rest is the responsibility of the eldest son, me, because he does have the weight of all the family on his shoulder, even with all the help he gets from everyone, which can be quite daunting, and like I said, and like we've been saying, gives explanations to his actions at the beginning of the series. Like, he needs something to that, obviously, even though it's incredibly creepy what he was doing. Thankfully, he's sort of like moved away from that and actually become more of a complex character as a result of it, which thank God, because can you imagine if Karicha was just a creepy sitcom the entire series? So anyway, continuing on, we as Mutsumi and Tayo are just reiterating like, oh, Karicha, they wind up in like this banquet hall where Momo is set up to be like, oh, celebrate, welcome home, Yozakura family reunion party. Like, there's just a big massive sign that says that in Japanese, and they translate this what it said. But yeah, whether or not this is going along with his plan to get all the Yozakura siblings at this point, because they're all in one place now, so it'd be a case of like, oh, perfect timing, this is perfect for me, so once I get them all, I can chuck Tayo away and then just speed off and they won't be able to get in contact. Or is it just going to be like, oh, if I get Karicho, then that's perfect, that's stage one of my plan complete, get all the gold ranks so that eventually I will be able to get the silver rank. So whether or not that's going to be the case, we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, we have them covering Shinzo and Futaba, as even though as Shinzo is just like, guys, what are you doing here? Because remember, even though he's under control of Momo, he still has his personality. He still has his personality in him, and Karicho is just looking around of just like the display. It's like, oh, it's too tacky, and I think, and Futaba is like, yeah, this is pretty yeah, you said it, Karicho, as much as it pains me to say it. But yeah, Momo says that this is where they're all going to meet and greet each other. He told us that he was going to prepare a surprise. Oh my god, yeah, he really is. He's gonna get them. He is gonna get them. Like, this is gonna be the surprise. Like, he's gonna distract them so much that it's gonna be easy for him to like prop those mind control Sakura Blossom things on him. Oh my god. Oh my god. Like, or unless, like I said, it is just a surprise of like, I'm gonna get you, Karicho, because the fact that we had this flashback in this chapter and Karicho is like, yeah, maybe I should confront him, but at the same time, maybe I should go along with him to kind of get a plan in motion, or like, because I don't think Karicho could be controlled, or if he could, it'll be very difficult to maintain that, which will give him opportunities to sneak information and be a double agent. You just never know. But yeah, Tayo is like, okay, even though this may be a trap, on their part, Tayo's obviously thinking like, okay, this is part of the plan, and Karicho's like, we go back into flashback when they're discussing plan days before. It's like, okay, if I go and deal with Momo, you guys have free range to pick who you fight. So who would you like to fight? Because we have two siblings and it's all of us. So who you'd be facing? But Karicho's like, oh, I'll decide the teams, taking compatibility and temperament into account. But of course, I'm willing to listen to you guys as well. So yeah, even though I'll be the one deciding teams, I'll listen to you guys. So who do you want to fight? And then Taro's like, oh, it's obvious who I want to fight. I want to fight Shinzo, which makes sense on their part, because they have a pretty like great dynamic. Well, Tayo has pretty great dynamics with all of them, so I could see him fighting Futaba or Shinzo, but I feel like he wants to fight Shinzo the most, because I feel like Shinzo's I would say Shinzo is more emotionally unstable of the Yozakura siblings. Kind of the same thing with Keigo. When something doesn't go absolutely perfect for them, they're both like really panicking and shaking and just all over the place. So I feel like Shinzo would be one of the more what would be the better one for Tayo to actually get through to. And also Shinzo would be the one who's like, because he's scared of his own ability, so he wouldn't want to hurt anyone. And sure enough, as Tayo goes to attack Shinzo, Shinzo is obviously backing up here. It's like, no, Tayo, I don't want to fight you, but at the same time, I do have to fight you because I'm under the control of Momo. But Tayo's thinking to himself, once he's back to himself, he'll be really depressed if he hurts anyone. Like I said, like, he probably picked it because he's like, okay, I know Shinzo would not want to fight me, but at the same time he's being forced to fight him, and his hardening can stand up to Shinzo's attacks, and he should be the one to face him. But and as Tao is reiterating this in the flashback, we see a hand grab him, which is obviously Keigo's because of the black sleeve, and he's like, whoa, whoa, whoa! You think you're gonna take him on alone? Let your two straight-faced squares go at it, and you'll just wear yourself out. You got to be smart about these things. And yeah, Keigo is more of a tactician than an actual combatter. He's basically like Kisuke Urahara in Bleach in the sense that Kisuke doesn't normally go straight for the brawling, fighting like Kenpachi in Bleach. He's more of the tactician, more of using subterfuge and other areas to defeat his opponents, right down to creating clones of himself in the same way that Keigo does. So Keigo's like saying like, I'll keep you too serious for your own good, idiots in line. Come on, Shinzo, we're going home. And yeah, obviously Shinzo doesn't want to attack any of his younger siblings, but at the same time, he knows he has to, as he says, like, please stop, you two. So he's probably saying this like, please stop, you two. I don't want to hurt you guys, but if you're going to attack me, I'll have to attack you. But at the same time, that's going to be painful for me and everything. And it's just like making his head explode. So yeah, we're finally getting the face-ups with each other. So we got Keigo and Taiyo versus Shinzo, which is a fight that will be interested to see, because we know that Keigo can create clones of not just himself but the others around him. So it'll be interesting to see them do like the double team attack from Pokemon. That'll be something that'll be interesting. And we have the other ones facing off. So it's like Nanano and Koricho versus Futaba. So pretty interesting team ups here. I'm very interested. I'm very happy with them, because we obviously have Nanano and Koricho's relationship of being like, okay, you're my younger brother, I'm your older brother, but at the same time I'm your teacher and you are my student at the same time. So we kind of have like a teacher-student dynamic going along with Koricho and Nanano versus Futaba. So it'll be interesting to see where this actually goes, as we get the end of the chapter where we have Futaba saying, so I get to deal with you two. No, three? Sheesh. I guess the third person she's referred to is Shinon, which would make sense, because Shion knows Futaba's weaknesses and how she can exploit them in the same way that Koricho knows that. Like, they all know the weaknesses, but I feel like Koricho and Shion would know the weaknesses of Futaba the most, because Futaba not the best when it comes to gadgets as well, so Shion might actually have a chance of standing against her. But yeah, we have Futaba rounding out the chapter of like, this won't even count as a war, because we get everyone facing off with each other, and that's where the chapter ends. So pretty good setup. It's like another setup chapter, but really now we're getting into the main meat of the arc, like rescuing the siblings. Now, whether or not this rescue is going to go successful, because we've had pretty much straight up back-to-back successes on the Yozakuras when they've gone on their big missions. So I feel like this might actually be the point where they actually fail at a mission. Like, not only do they fail, but they fail hard, because they'll probably lose another Yozakura sibling, and like I said, it's probably going to be Koricho. It has to be Koricho, because that would, like I said, that would round up the 3 gold rank spies, and yeah, they will be pretty screwed unless Koricho is like, okay, yeah, this is all part of my bigger master plan to take down Momo, but at the same time, I have to let myself get captured for the sake of my family and the sake of the mission. Like, they'll probably have to lose this battle in order to win the war against Momo and his army of like brother Sakura clones, and whether or not this might tie back into Tsubumi as well, that remains to be seen. So yeah, not really got anything else to say on this chapter. Said everything that I need to, and like I said, go and check out the modcast that we did at Control Chaos. But for now, what did you guys think of this chapter? Let me know. Like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz. And this will be Lasherluke signing off. Later, guys.